Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to try and give you some ideas for winter photography when we don't have snow or fog. So I know that some of you guys watching this may have been lucky enough to already have some snow or some misty winter conditions. Where I live, I've had absolutely none of that so far. Certainly cold enough, got the gloves on, although within the space of about 5 minutes, my hands are already cold. I'm not sure there's such a good a thing as good photography gloves. Feel free to make any suggestions, by the way, for photography gloves that actually keep your hands warm whilst also being able to operate a camera. So what I've done is come out on what I would say is a very typical winter's day. As you can see above me, it's just flat grey sky. It's cold, it's a little bit murky because it's that kind of day, but there's no amazing light. But I still think there are perfectly good opportunities here for getting photographs. Nothing spectacular, of course. It's a great opportunity, though, to capture the surroundings. So I've come to an area that I know has a little bit of farming going on. There's some houses as well, a little kind of mini village look. I'm sure there's another term for mini village. Hamlet? Probably, maybe not though. Anyway, so I know that there is something happening in the area that I've come to. Again, as I said, I'm not looking for anything spectacular, but I'm looking to capture what's going on. And it is coming up to Christmas as well. So I'm hoping maybe to capture a little bit of the kind of Christmas vibe in this location too. Now, I'm going handheld with all of these shots. Shutter speed is a little bit slow, so I'm having to increase the ISO, which, maybe up to 320, something like that. I'm not too bothered about that. Again, I'm going to add grain in Lightroom to these shots as well, using one of my preset packages, I think. And just playing around with the settings a little bit. I can also just mess around with f-stop as well. I'm not too worried about getting super sharp images. So it's actually been a few weeks since I was actually out with my camera. Just really didn't have time to take any photos. I made a couple of videos in that time, obviously, but anyway, the benefit of doing this type of photography is that, you can never run out of things to photograph. And you can do this, obviously, throughout the year. But, as I said, for me, in winter, it can be difficult to kind of motivate yourself to come out and take photos without those amazing conditions, as I mentioned earlier, of snow or fog. And personally, I'm finding it increasingly interesting to capture some human elements within nature, within the landscape. I like doing urban photography, but I don't always want to capture life just in cities or towns. I think it's nice just to vary it up and capture more kind of country life, I guess. And it just adds a nice documentary kind of style to photos. And you can even talk about this as some kind of like project. So a project where you're capturing the area, and this type of thing you can come back to at different times of the year as well. So capturing the area and the changes it goes through as life progresses in that particular part that you are photographing. Yeah, I've basically been just wandering around the pathways and seeing where they take me. And I managed to come across the woodland here, which I might just play around with. Normally I don't do woodland photography in the winter, again, unless there's mist. But yeah, I think there's maybe some possibilities here. I'm thinking actually about going upwards. So doing something that's a little bit more kind of abstract, capturing some of the shapes with the branches of the trees. I think that might look quite nice. And then maybe just play around with it a little bit in the editing. I've got a flat grey sky to capture, so that may actually work quite well, either in black and white, or, as I said, just do something a little bit different with the sky, maybe bring an element of colour into it. So rather than just taking a flat shot, just being a bit more creative with the editing. Wow, this is a beautiful tree here. Just amazing if I just point you up there. Yeah, it's definitely something I'm going to come back to in the spring for sure. Although it's quite near the edge of the woods, so I'm going to probably need some mist here just to eliminate a lot of the background, because I don't really like taking sky with this type of shot, as you know, if you've seen previous videos on woodland. I might take a shot here of the trunk though, just at the bottom. So it's quite dark in here, so I'm having to compromise with my camera settings in order to get a 1/10 shutter speed. I don't want to go too low on the f-stop, because otherwise it's going to have a really small part of this in focus. So I'm just, as I said, around f7, good enough. Just trying to capture some of the texture here, some of the different colors as well, and just some of the character of the trunk. It's always great to be out in the fresh air and just kind of blow the cobwebs away. As always, thanks for watching and see you next time.